Welcome back to the What We're Watching podcast. I'm Megan.
And I'm Jeni, and today we're talking about The Princess Diaries 2, The Royal Engagement.
Welcome to the podcast's second Anne-iversary episode, everybody.
Wait, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why we're doing The Princess Diaries 2. Wait, I had this thought where I was like, man, Megan and I are recording The Princess Diaries 2 this week, but our anniversary isn't for a while.
I have news for you. It is August.
It is our Anne-iversary. You're right.
If you guys didn't know, last year we started the tradition of doing an Anne Hathaway movie on our podcast anniversary, so we had to repeat this year.
I cannot believe we're at 2 years. That's crazy.
Crazy.
It's been a great 2 years. Thank you guys for sticking around with us.
We love doing the podcast, and it means so much that you guys listen and you engage with us on social media and you love all the same movies as us, and we have the best time doing this, so thank you.
Sometimes I post things and I'm just like, I know that the What We're Watching girlies are the only people who are going to get this.
Yep. In fact, I think every time we post, I think that.
I have no one to share this with, so.
I know.
So thank you for being that for us. We love you guys.
In this episode, we're talking about the iconic writers and director behind Princess Diaries 2 and the cast, including Anne Hathaway, Chris Pine, and Julie Andrews, and everything we know about the upcoming Princess Diaries 3, which is officially in the works.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Amazing. Can't wait. That is a sequel I will get behind.
Absolutely. And Devil Wears Prada 2, which is filming right now. I don't know if you've been seeing all of the on-set photography that's coming out. Incredible.
It looks so good. It looks so good. And both star Anne Hathaway, so I guess that's why we'll get behind them.
No surprise.
Our girl.
Okay, so the logline for Princess Diaries 2 is, now settled in Genovia, Princess Mia faces a new revelation. She is being primed for an arranged marriage to an English suitor.
Did he have to be English? Oh, the guy was English, right?
He just was English, yeah.
Okay. I was like, did she have to marry someone from... No, okay, this makes sense. I actually am not well versed in the Princess Diaries 2 universe. And you know Princess Diaries is one of my favorite movies of all time.
So this is exciting.
Yeah, the second one I've seen, I probably saw it here and there when I was younger. And I'm sure it was one of those things that played on TV and I came in and watched a scene of it at a time. But I felt like this was my first time watching it all the way through and really paying attention to it. So it was fun.
Good. I feel like I've seen Princess Diaries 2 as many times as I have seen Princess Diaries. You know my affinity for sequels, so this is probably no surprise. And so I love this movie, and it was interesting watching it with the lens of we do this podcast, we analyze movies a lot more often now. We've seen a lot more rom-coms, I feel like, in the last 2 years, and also just to look at this movie from a 2025 lens as an adult is just interesting. But it's so nostalgic to me that I was so happy to watch it. I can't wait to talk about it.
Did you still love it as much, would you say?
Yes, I still love it as much. I raise my eyebrow more at the entire plot. But I still love it. I love Anne Hathaway and Julie Andrews and Chris Pine, so.
I actually got Robert to watch this with me.
Wow, and?
He liked it. He was laughing.
It's good.
He was laughing at so many parts and we were both kind of just giggling about it together.
The Princess Diaries series, both movies, toe such an interesting line between almost a Disney Channel original movie and a rom-com, a How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days rom-com, you know what I mean? Because Mia's in high school in the first one, and even in the second one, she's early 20s, just out of college, and the princessy vibe gives very Disney princess. It's very wholesome feeling, almost like a Disney Channel original movie. But I think the quality, no hate to DComs, but I think the quality of this movie is more aligned with the early 2000s rom-coms. So it's interesting. I think that's why it's just so lovable to me.
I think you're right about that. It also really reminded me of the movie Ella Enchanted, which we covered recently. Not just because of Anne Hathaway, but there were some moments that I was getting a little bit confused about the plot, and I was like, oh no, I'm thinking about Ella Enchanted. This is Princess Diaries 2.
Ella Enchanted, I think, fits in the same category.
Yes, exactly.
So, like many good movies, Princess Diaries 2 came out in 2004. You guys know 2003 and 2004 are the sweet spot, it seems.
Wait, when did the first one come out then?
2001.
Oh, wow.
And you guys may or may not know this, but the characters in the Princess Diaries and the Princess Diaries 2 are based on the characters in the book series by Meg Cabot. However, the second movie's story isn't based on the second book's story. They are totally different, unlike the first movie. So the first movie was made using the story from the first book, and the second one totally diverged.
I've heard from people that the Princess Diaries book series is so good.
Really?
Yes, I'm actually really tempted to read it because I feel like I want to just read some light, nostalgic kind of things that, I don't know, like teeny bopper things. I feel like this and The Summer I Turned Pretty, I would like to read.
I actually love the idea of reading this series. Maybe I'm going to see right now if it's actually on Spotify as an audiobook.
Oh, that would be so fun to listen to it as an audiobook.
It is. It's included in Premium. So if you pay for Spotify Premium, the Princess Diaries series audiobooks are all included. And it's narrated by Anne Hathaway.
It's narrated by her?
Yes.
All right, you heard it here first. Immediately.
I mean, finish this episode and then listen to it. I'm going to start listening to it then for sure.
While I'm making my dinner tonight, I'm going to listen to it. Amazing.
Can't wait. This is good. This week I started trying to listen to The Three Body Problem because I love that show on Netflix and I'm like itching for the second season and I can't do it. It's too stressful.
I've never heard of it. What kind of genre is it?
It's sci-fi.
Okay.
It's really good. The show is really, really good. Would recommend for sure. It would be a good one to watch with Robert too. Brian and I both love it.
Is it one that, like, if you're listening to the audiobook, it's like got a lot of details and stuff that you have to remember that makes it hard? Okay, yeah.
It's tricky and it's just like a little bit stressful. Like the show is a little bit stressful. It's pretty dark. And so it's not a good bedtime book for me, you know.
Yeah.
Princess Diaries will be better.
I'm very particular about what can be an audiobook and what can't be. And something that's like super complicated, I will just zone out. A lot of things, this is so unhinged. I have to listen to them at 2x speed. I wonder if anyone else is like that. Please tell me, or tell me if I'm just wild for that.
Why? Why do you listen to it at 2x?
Because then it's talking so fast that I'll keep up with it and I'll like be paying attention.
You won't zone out.
Exactly. But if they're speaking really slow, then my mind will wander and I'll be thinking about something else and I'll be like, oh wait, what did they say? And I'll have to rewind it, you know?
Yeah, I do that. So yes, I get it. Okay, back to the Princess Diaries 2. This movie was largely filmed in Southern California, actually. And so are you ready to hear kind of where the main scenes take place?
Absolutely.
So the European city scenes that you see, you know, as Genovia are actually filmed on the Universal Studios backlot.
Okay.
So like when they're on the parade, when they're like out in the city.
Wait, you know what? There is an essence to those scenes that just feels like the Universal Studios backlot.
I haven't been to the Universal Studios backlot, but as soon as I read this, I was like, yes, it feels like a little bit not cartoony, but like
there's a fakeness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But only if you're paying attention to it. Like once you said it, I'm like, oh, yep, that was 100% the backlot. And also they don't pan really around. It's just in that one area. I actually think I know exactly what area it's in too. We should go, Megan. That would be so fun.
We should go. Field trip.
Well, let's do a tour.
I would love that.
If we got paid for this podcast, I feel like we could.
True. Also, we'd have to go to Stars Hollow. I forget where they filmed that, but we're going there.
Oh, yes. 100%.
Oh my God. For the longest time,
no, it's there.
Actually
it's
thought
there.
that
it's at the Universal Studios backlot. Yeah, it's a house they've reused for a bunch of things, I think.
That's very exciting. I love the idea of that. For the longest time, I thought you were going to text me that you wanted to do a bachelorette trip, like Gilmore Girls vibes, somewhere in the Northeast.
You know, I was really considering that, and I was like, it'd be so fun to get all my bridesmaids to go to like a cabin somewhere, or maybe not a cabin, that's a little too rustic for me, but like some kind of cottage or inn or something and have a little cozy time. But I have a really hard time asking people to travel and spend money on me. So instead, I'm like, just come to my wedding. That's all.
I get it. It is hard. It's a big thing, but there's still time. So whatever you want,
Barely.
I'll be there.
We can do an after I get married bachelorette.
Sure. Also good.
You guys, Megan had the best bachelorette trip to Disney.
It was so fun.
It was so much fun.
One of my favorite vacations of all time, for sure.
Mine too, honestly. It was so good. Okay, tell me where else it's filmed.
Okay, so the scenes that are filmed on the grounds of the Genovian castle are actually filmed at a mansion in Pasadena. It's like the beautiful garden where they have the garden party scene, where her and Chris Pine walk around, where they fall in the fountain, all of the iconic scenes outside at a mansion in Pasadena.
I guarantee you that's a wedding venue.
Ooh, I bet you're right.
An expensive one.
Probably, yes. And then the interior of the castle was filmed at Disney's Golden Oak Ranch. However, the flyover shot of the castle, you know, the one when she's like in the plane and she looks out and sees the castle, that was actually shot at Longford Castle in the UK. So that shot they did get outside of the US, but everything else was in Southern California.
So if you combine that shot with like the actual shots of the grounds, I assume things don't match up.
Probably not.
Okay, interesting. But I would never notice.
No. Actually, even knowing this information, I didn't notice.
Perfect.
Okay, so the Princess Diaries 2 script was written by Gina Wenkos and Shonda Rhimes.
Love.
I know you've mentioned this in other episodes before, but I always forget that she wrote this.
Me too. Did she write the Princess Diaries 1?
No, I don't think either of them worked on the Princess Diaries 1. Let me see. Oh, wait, no, sorry. The other writer did. So Gina Wenkos, who worked with Shonda on this script, she worked on the first Princess Diaries movie, and then also Coyote Ugly and The Perfect Man are some of the other movies that she wrote.
Yeah, we do have an episode on the first Princess Diaries movie, and that was one of our early episodes.
Yep.
Like maybe first 10?
I think so. And you guys obviously know Shonda Rhimes. She's the woman behind Shondaland and created Grey's Anatomy, Private Practice. Her company, Shondaland, is responsible for Station 19, Bridgerton, How to Get Away with Murder, Scandal, and more.
So good.
An icon. I will say also, she has a very distinct writing style. If you've seen any of those shows, you can identify it. If Shonda was the showrunner, if she was the main writer, it's very clear. It's like very like, I don't know if flowery is the right word, but if you compare like a Meredith Grey monologue to an Olivia Pope monologue to I'm forgetting Viola Davis's character in How to Get Away with Murder, but one of those, like, it's very clear that Shonda wrote it. I did not see that stamp as much in this, and it was kind of refreshing. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was toned down a little bit. Like, I feel like this came before Shonda had like as much of a reputation, and I feel like a lot of times when screenwriters become more well known, it makes sense that they really want to like put their stamp on everything they do. I saw Aaron Sorkin say this in his masterclass. Like, he wants to be a character in the scene. Like, he wants you to know this is his dialogue. And you get this, I think, also with Amy Sherman Palladino, who did Gilmore Girls and Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Like, they just have a very distinct way of writing. And this felt like it was Shonda, but it was like toned down a little bit. And so it wasn't quite as obvious. And I really enjoyed it, actually.
I did too. Do you know if Deborah Martin Chase did this movie as well?
She did.
Okay, that's actually who I was feeling throughout the movie. I was like, this is definitely a Deborah Martin Chase movie.
She's the producer.
Okay, yep, so that makes sense. But yeah, I didn't feel so much the Shonda Rhimes, so that's interesting that you say that. It kind of makes me think of branding.
Yeah.
It's like, is this on brand for this huge writer? And their team of writers, probably even if they're not writing anymore, their team of writers are going to try and make sure it's on brand for that type of show or movie.
Totally. You'll be excited to know that Deborah Martin Chase is also doing Princess Diaries 3.
Love.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
I know, we're going to deep dive everything that I could find about Princess Diaries 3 at the end.
Can't wait.
The last thing you need to know about Princess Diaries 2 as far as the background is this movie was directed by Gary Marshall. Gary was a famous director, actor, writer, and producer. He directed Valentine's Day, Raising Helen, The First Princess Diaries, Pretty Woman, and many more things. Very famous. He passed away in 2016, so he's no longer with us, but overwhelmingly the sentiment about him was positive from this cast. I actually found this very sweet quote from John Rhys Davies, who plays Viscount Mabry, who is Chris Pine's uncle in this movie. He said, "Our director, Gary Marshall, was magical. He didn't so much direct a film, he invited some friends to come have a bit of fun and maybe make a movie while we were doing it. It was glorious."
I love hearing that.
I know.
That's so nice.
So it seemed like everybody just had an incredible, incredible experience working on this movie. And we always love to hear that.
Yes, love to hear it. Okay, should we get into the cast?
Let's do it.
Let's talk about Anne Hathaway, who plays Princess Mia.
We have talked about her so many times. We love her. You guys know how much we love her. We talked about her in our episodes on the first Princess Diaries movie, Devil Wears Prada, Bride Wars, and Ella Enchanted. That makes this the 5th movie that we're talking about Anne Hathaway.
Wow.
So I did not want to bore you and rehash her entire personal life. You guys can go back and listen to those episodes. We talk about Hatha Hate in the first Princess Diaries episode. We talk about her relationship with a con man. We've talked so much about her personal life. So if you guys want to hear about her, definitely check those out. I did find one newer fun fact, which is that she said last year that she's been sober for 5 years.
Oh.
And I did a bunch of reading about this. She's talked about this a lot over the last year. And it is not that she feels like she had a problem with alcohol. It's that she gets really intense hangovers. And she said she was done fighting it. Apparently her last hangover was 5 days long. And she has a son. So she was like, maybe I'll pick back up drinking like when he's 18 and leaves the house. But like, it's not worth that right now.
Slay.
I know.
But wow, 5 days?
Yeah.
That's horrible. That makes me think your body was telling you, no,
Yeah.
we can't have this anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what she was saying. I found some quotes where she was like, if you have a food allergy, you're just like, no, my body can't handle this. And she was like, it seemed clear my body couldn't handle it and I was done fighting it.
Wow.
I know.
Good for her.
I know. I relate to this. I get really, really bad hangovers. And I actually had 2 beers on Memorial Day this year and was hungover for 2 days.
Really?
So yeah, I haven't drank since then because I just like couldn't do it. So anyway, reading this about her, I was just like, wow.
I think this is an experience that a lot of people have because I had this really good margarita place open up near me.
Oh, it is so good.
But they make really strong margaritas. And so once a week, I think once a week I would go and get one. My body was not used to having alcohol that often. And I got sick one night and I was like, oh, okay, we got to stop this. I don't think I had another sip of alcohol for probably like 7 months.
Wow.
Maybe longer.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a price, unfortunately. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. And then I found this very sweet quote where Anne was talking about her experience with the Princess Diaries franchise as she was promoting the movie The Idea of You, which was her more recent rom-com. And she got choked up and was she was just holding back tears when she was talking. It was very sweet. This is what she said. She said, "I was in a film when I was 17 years old called The Princess Diaries. It came out when I was 18 and the premiere of the movie felt so much like the premiere for this one." She's talking about The Idea of You. The quote continues, "And when I was 18 years old, it was my first premiere. So I thought that was the way it works and it can go so well. But that level of instant audience love and embracing of it and feeling that audience satisfaction, you don't get that every single time."
That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
I love when somebody refers back to the thing that made them famous in a positive way like this.
Agreed. It's like giving the opposite of Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart about Twilight.
We always say this. Yeah. Which, speaking of sequels, we have to cover New Moon.
Oh, we do. We really
This
do.
fall. This fall. It's on our
yes.
list.
We will do it.
Because our Twilight episode is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah. We have a lot to say about Twilight.
Okay, next we have Julie Andrews, who plays Queen Clarice.
You guys know Julie Andrews, obviously. She's an icon. She's in The Sound of Music, Mary Poppins, Despicable Me, Shrek 2, Eloise at the Plaza, Thoroughly Modern Millie, and so much more.
Wait, I'm going to stop you for a second.
Yeah.
Is she the fairy godmother? Who is she in Shrek 2? Oh, no, is she the mom?
I think
Who is
she's,
she?
I was about to say I think she's the fairy godmother, but I think she's the mom.
I was like, she's too sweet to be the fairy godmother.
Yeah, she's the mom. She's the queen.
Okay. I didn't know that.
So I actually had never researched Julie Andrews' life before, so you might know some of this, but this was pretty much all new news to me. So she had surgery in 1997 to remove non-cancerous nodes on her vocal cords to help with hoarseness, and her vocal cords were accidentally damaged during the surgery. So she hasn't been able to sing the same way since, which I think is why we saw her do a lot of musical projects like The Sound of Music and Mary Poppins, and then move more into non-musical roles.
That is so sad. I had no idea.
I know.
That would be devastating.
I know. It reminded me so much of Chloe from Pitch Perfect.
Yes.
Not that that's the same, obviously, but
it makes me think, oh, the scene makes sense in this movie where she is singing.
mm-hmm.
Because I was like, why isn't she going all out? This is probably common knowledge to anybody who's like maybe just a tad older than us.
Mm-hmm. Or if you're like really plugged into musicals, like the musical sphere, I know that our friend Abby is screaming.
She's like, how didn't you know this?
Phone right now? Yeah.
But it makes sense now why there was that scene where she's not going all out with the singing, and she, I think, gracefully is like, no,
mm-hmm.
you girls do the all out singing.
And then everyone freaks out that she's like indulging them and is singing a little bit, I think makes sense.
Because I was wondering, I was like, where is the Sound of Music here? Like I was kind of waiting for her to belt it, but that makes so much sense. And that makes me really sad.
I know. Okay, a little bit about her personal life. She married a set designer named Tony Walton in 1959, and they had one daughter together. They got divorced 9 years later in 1968, and then she married a director named Blake Edwards, and through that marriage, she gained 2 stepsons, and they actually adopted 2 daughters together, and they were together until he died in 2010.
Oh, wow.
Julie Andrews' birth name is actually Julia Elizabeth Wells. Beautiful. Interesting that she changed it. Julia to Julie.
Cute.
Yeah. Maybe that's common. Is Julie always a nickname for Julia?
I don't think always for Julia, but I will say that Robert has an aunt named Julia who goes by Julie.
Okay. I don't think I ever put that together, but it makes sense.
I don't think I've ever known anybody who was a Julia who went by Julie.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I grew up with a handful of Julias.
Mm-hmm.
But my daughter's name is Juliet, and we call her Julie a lot of the time.
So cute. I love that.
So Julie Andrews is obviously English, and her official title is Dame Julie Andrews, which I knew, but I didn't know what that meant. So Dame is actually an English title that was bestowed upon Julie by the Queen for Julie's significant contribution to the arts. It is the female equivalent of knighthood. So it is the same like level as Sir Elton John.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wow, to be a dame.
I know. So cool.
Okay, last but not least, we have Chris Pine, who plays Nicholas Devereaux.
You guys know Chris Pine from Wonder Woman, Star Trek, This Means War, Dungeons and Dragons, Don't Worry Darling, and so many more things. Chris was actually 24 years old when Princess Diaries 2 came out, and it was his first feature film.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
His first?
This feels like a Mandela effect, because I was stunned to learn this. I was like, certainly he was famous. Certainly I know him from 1,000 things. But I actually think we all just know him from Princess Diaries too. Because I think the next thing he did after this was Star Trek, which was not in my wheelhouse. And then everything else that I read, for the most part, that was famous that he's done is much more like contemporary. Like Wonder Woman was a few years ago. Dungeons and Dragons was a few years ago.
Wait, do you think it's because during the height of Marvel, everyone talked about the 3 Chris's? And it was like Chris Evans, Chris Pine. Who was the other one?
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
Maybe
there's another one.
Maybe that's part of it.
But that's what I think of when I think of Chris Pine, is I'm like in my head mentally trying to figure out which Chris he is. And then I'm like, oh yeah. Because he was included in that group, I guess I assumed he was in a lot more things.
Yeah.
And maybe he was. But
And he is in a lot of things. These were the things that I felt like were definitely the most famous. But the fact that Princess Diaries 2 was his first movie and then he became who he is now is crazy. And I actually saw on Google when I searched Chris Pine movies, you know how there's the section on the Google results page that says people also ask.
Yeah.
The first question is, what movie made Chris Pine famous? And the answer is Princess Diaries 2.
I'm shocked by that.
I know.
I love that.
he was my celebrity crush as a youth in like high school. If anyone asked, that's who I would say. And I'm just in my head going, wow, I just like thought that he was a rom-com guy, and he's not.
It's because you loved Princess Diaries
Because I loved Princess Diaries too, that much. Yeah.
Wow. That's so cute.
I know.
Also, Dungeons and Dragons, I will just say for the 500th time on this podcast, worth watching. Have you seen it yet?
I have. It is
What
good.
did you
I really
think?
liked it.
Okay.
I also love This Means War. That is a rom-com, and it stars Chris Pine, Reese Witherspoon, and Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I haven't even heard of that rom-com, I don't think.
It's very niche. I don't think a lot of people have seen it, but it's really good. Would highly recommend.
Hey, people want our niche recommendations.
It's a love triangle involving spies. That's what you need to know.
That's all I need to know.
And Reese Witherspoon is the love interest, so 10 out of 10.
I'm so in.
It's really good. Okay. Chris Pine is technically a Nepo baby because both of his parents are actors. Their names are Robert Pine and Gwen Guilford. I did not recognize either of them. I don't think they're nearly as famous as he is. But this was another question on Google under People Always Ask. It was like, is Chris Pine a Nepo baby? And the answer is yes, technically.
Yes, technically. Love that.
Chris is currently 44 and he is dating Kiana Sky Wenger, I believe is how you say her name. She's 29 and she is a former waitress, now designer, but I also read aspiring designer. And they met because I think he frequented the restaurant in LA that she worked at.
Can you imagine? First off,
there's so much here.
Okay, we won't talk about the age gap yet. But can you imagine just being a waitress and then one day Chris Pine comes in and then he frequents your place of establishment and then you start dating him. And then you no longer have to be a waitress. Now you can be a designer because now you have an in.
Yeah. I had all these thoughts when I read this. I was like, whoa, way too girl boss that situation, actually.
Maybe it could have happened for me.
It was possible. I am 29. I'm having a Joe Jonas moment where I'm like, he was too old for me, but no, he wasn't. I just didn't know how the world worked then. No, I don't love the age gap. The age gap makes me feel icky.
I mean, maybe this is bad to say, but if they stay together for a long time, then I'll be like, it just was what it was, you know?
Yeah.
But if as soon as she's in her 30s, he dumps her, then I'm going to be like,
I'm going to raise an eyebrow.
Yeah.
It is interesting that he is unmarried and has no kids.
That is interesting.
I don't think you see a lot of men in Hollywood his age that are in that boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just interesting. He has had several other famous relationships, including his relationship with Olivia Munn. He also dated Zoe Kravitz and Annabelle Wallis. They dated for a few years.
Zoe Kravitz dates so many people that I'm like, I would never picture you with that person in an instant.
Agreed. I feel like we just talked about this, and I can't remember who it was.
Channing Tatum.
Was it? Well, we definitely talked about that, but I feel like we also just talked about somebody that was in a movie that dated Zoe, and we were surprised.
Her taste is like not what I would expect it to be.
No,
I don't know why.
same.
She's just so cool.
I know. We just think she should be unattainable for these men.
I think she goes for very traditional heartthrob guys, but I expect her to be with more like alternative, edgy, cool guys.
That's
you know?
definitely it. Yeah, that's definitely it. Like, I can't picture her sitting next to Chris Pine at all.
No.
I also can't picture her standing next to Channing Tatum at all.
No, even though they do all the time.
Yeah, but you're right. I definitely expect like indie alternative emo boy, you know? Like,
yeah.
like I expect her almost with like a Travis Barker type.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Tortured artist type.
Yep.
I don't know.
A musician for sure.
Yeah. And she is a musician, so that makes sense. I will say, Chris Pine is looking a little wild these days.
Oh.
He has a full long beard and long hair, which, given he was my celebrity crush for a long time and had the exact identical image for like most of my adult and teenage life, it is a little jarring. I read something that suggested this is like a stunt to like promote a movie that he just directed, which is his directorial debut. I think it's called Pool Man. Anyway, I just needed to note this for the girls that are like screaming, that are like, he was your celebrity crush, but have you seen him lately? Yes, unfortunately I have. Okay.
Wait, like I kind of like the look. I'm looking it up right now.
No.
I kind of like it.
No. Chris Pine in Princess Diaries 2 is the best, okay? Or in This Means War.
Okay, wait, I'm finding some really wild outfit choices though.
Yeah. It's like him in the jorts on the red carpet in an I Heart LA shirt with his like scraggly hair and sunglasses on his head.
Megan, this is kind of a slay.
No. I do not accept this.
Should we do a poll?
Yes. Okay, yes, we should do a poll.
Like, do you think Chris's new look is cool or not?
Yeah, we need which Chris do you prefer?
Well, then everyone's gonna pick the original.
Is this bad? It feels like if he was a woman, we would not be saying this type of shit. But I guess he's not. He's a white man in Hollywood, so it's allowed, right?
I think it's allowed. Also, I like it, so I think it's fine.
That's true.
I think his new style is unique. I like it.
Okay, great. I'm glad you do. Because I don't.
I have always not minded like gray men in Hollywood. Like gray beards, gray hair. I'm always into it.
I actually have no issue with the grayness.
Is it the style or the hair?
It's the like unkemptness, the general unkemptness bugs me because he was so polished before that it feels like such a stark departure, you know?
Did you see the one with him in like what looks like a PJ set with like a big long kind of trench coat situation?
No.
Let me send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
I kind of like it. It doesn't seem unkept. Is it unkempt or unkept?
I think it's unkempt. Oh, I see it. This is still so... I hate it.
Okay.
I see what you're saying, though. This hair and beard, though, is a little bit more well kept.
Yeah.
I still hate it. So maybe it's not that.
Okay, interesting. I can't wait to poll everyone.
I know. You guys can tell us. Am I being too harsh?
Okay, with that out of the way, now that we really showed our preferences in men's fashion, let's get into the movie, shall we?
Let's do it. So the movie opens with Mia's graduation from Princeton University, and her mom is in the audience with her new husband, Mr. O'Connell, Mia's old teacher. You'll remember him from the first movie. And her mom is also pregnant. After the graduation ceremony, we see Joe escort Mia away from the crowd, and we cut to them on a private plane. And Mia is writing in her diary, and her voiceover reads what she's writing, catching us up on the past 5 years. And she chronicles the fact that her mom married her high school teacher and is expecting. Lily is a graduate student at Berkeley, and she and Michael are just friends now. Joe interrupts her writing with a reference to an iconic line. He says, "Princess Mia, look out the window and welcome back to Genovia."
I have so many things to say.
Hit me.
Right off the bat, you know I'm a Michael fan.
Ugh, I know. You hate that they disappeared him.
I hate that. He just yeeted. They did not even explain it.
He said, "I'm not coming back." And they said, "Not a problem. We'll write you out in the first line of the movie."
And I feel like they maybe would have anyway, or he would have they would have showed him just being a friend.
Yeah.
But I love him. I think he's cool. And I don't really care for Chris Pine as much.
Yeah. Fair.
That's all I'll say. Anyway, I guess back to like us having different taste in men, maybe.
Perhaps.
The other thing that I do want to say is that I love the little detail that Mia studied international affairs, I think.
Yep.
Something along those lines. Cute.
Very cute.
I love her.
She was planning.
She was planning to be queen. Prepping. So Mia's voiceover says that her grandmother is stepping down as queen by the end of the year, and she's taking over. She's really nervous and excited about it. That night is her 21st birthday party, and per tradition, she has to dance with all of the eligible bachelors in Genovia. And we're talking all of them. Doesn't matter their age.
We flash forward to right before the ball starts, and we see Queen Clarice. That is Julie Andrews, obviously. She comes out and she looks stunning. And she says the iconic line, "A queen is never late. Everyone else is simply early."
Then Mia enters the ball looking very regal. She's in a red dress. And this is the first time that we see her face. And so it was just like a stunning moment.
Mm-hmm.
A ring promptly flies off her finger as she waves to the crowd, so we know that she's still the same clumsy Mia. Over the course of the night, she dances with different men and hangs out with her bestie, Asana, played by Raven Simone.
Something that I learned that's maybe super obvious about Raven Simone while researching this movie is that Raven Simone is her first name.
Really?
Yeah.
I covered the episode on the Cheetah Girls, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I was reading it's Raven Simone, like hyphenated. And then she has I think 2-part last name, but it's because she's married now. So now she has a hyphenated last name. Fascinating. I always thought it was Raven space Simone. Simone as her last name, but no.
Raven hyphen Simone.
Yeah.
Also, wild that she just kind of like showed up and then we're supposed to know who she is. And then we don't really see her until
almost the end. Yeah. She just kind of pops in and out. At the ball, she has a meet cute with Nicholas, that's Chris Pine, when she accidentally steps on his toe. And later on in the night, they dance, and we can tell that they have a major spark, much bigger than anybody else that she dances with.
The next day in the palace, Mia watches the morning show Eggs with Elsie, which I was laughing about the title, and she meets her ladies' maids, Brigitte and Brigitta.
While exploring the palace, Mia overhears a parliament meeting in which they are discussing the queen's heir. And it turns out that Mia is not the only option to take over the throne after Clarice. One member of parliament, Viscount Mabry's nephew, Lord Devereux, is also eligible to become king. When Queen Clarice hears this, she says, "Shut up." And it gets brought up that technically a princess must marry before becoming queen. So although Mia is next in line, she isn't fully eligible. And the queen remarks that they've never enforced that law and that a man doesn't have to marry to be king, so it's unfair. But Parliament decides to uphold the law. Mia only gets 30 days to find a match and get married, and this makes her realize that she's going to have an arranged marriage, just like her grandmother did.
Viscount Mabry talks to his nephew about becoming king, and we find out that his nephew is Nicholas, the guy that she had the meet cute with, Chris Pine. Queen Clarice invites Viscount Mabry and his nephew to stay at the palace so she can keep an eye on them. She basically says something to the effect of, if there's going to be funny business happening, I want it to be under my nose. Love.
Love.
When they enter the palace, Mia is stunned that this is Nicholas, this guy that she thought was so cute and wonderful. And so she stomps on his foot and she storms out.
To distract her from being so upset, the queen takes Mia to see her newly renovated suite in the castle. And it is beautiful. She has a sitting room and a bedroom, and she has a giant walk-in closet. And as Mia's checking it out, Lily jumps out from behind the clothes.
We love Lily. Lily is played by Heather Matarazzo. I thought that was so cute, but also I was just thinking in my head, how many rom-coms from this era do we have where they show us this beautiful, wonderful closet that we all want? I'm thinking Clueless, Legally Blonde, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hannah Montana movie. Maybe not Legally Blonde,
Definitely
actually.
Hannah Montana. I feel like this is a trope. It's like reminiscent of the big New York apartment.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the unrealistic, girly, giant, like living space with the frilly couch and the big walk-in closet and the like 4-poster bed.
It was 13 going on 30.
Yeah, totally.
That was what I was thinking of. Yep. That night, the ladies review a slideshow of eligible bachelors for Mia. This reminded me of presentation nights, like PowerPoint nights.
Totally, yeah.
I was like, I could see people nowadays being like, all right, here are your eligible bachelors.
Yeah.
Let's look at them and break down all the people you've matched with on Tinder this week.
Totally.
It was really funny. Then they find Andrew Jacobi, Duke of Kenilworth, and he's kind of the only option because everyone else is like old or too young or taken, whatever. And Mia is kind of like, okay, yeah, he seems nice. She agrees to date him.
Then we see Mia and Andrew go on a variety of dates. We see them at a picnic. They go for a walk on the beach. They play badminton. And they're cute. And he's very sweet. And you can tell that they're really trying to get to know each other, even though it's hard in this public setting. Like there's always news cameras. And then Mia's ladies' maids or the queen or Lily. Like there's always people around them. But you can tell that they are interested in each other. And they're both just like kind. And they want to try, they want to try to make it work. And then on one of their outings, they sit under a tree and Andrew gives her a ring, an engagement ring. He doesn't actually ask her to marry him, but he gives it to her sort of as like a gesture of like, we're doing this, right? You know, he knows that this is an arranged marriage. And so even though he doesn't ask her, she asks him to put the ring on and she's very excited and the press goes nuts when they see it.
Then Mia and Andrew formally announce their engagement to a crowd outside the palace. Meanwhile, Viscount Mabry tells his nephew Nicholas to romance Mia in order to get her to change her mind about Andrew and run out the 30-day marriage deadline that she has.
And this is when we really get the start of the enemies to lovers arc between Mia and Nicholas. We see them argue, we see them hide in a closet to avoid Mia's ladies' maids, and then someone opens the closet and finds them in there together, which is not a great look.
Joe and the Queen walk around the grounds, and Joe makes a move on her. He says since she won't be queen and he won't be her security guard, it's time for them to bring their friendship out of the shadows. She protests because she wants to be there for Mia, and he encourages her to consider the duty she has to herself.
Cute.
We love him.
Love. He gives girl dad energy, don't you think?
Yes. I'm thinking of the scene where he asks Mia if it would help if he let her call him Joey. Like from the first movie when she's like, Joey, and he's like, no.
Yeah.
They really did a great job of callbacks.
They did, yeah. Mia's queen lessons continue, and as part of that, she has to learn archery because she's supposed to shoot a flaming arrow as part of her coronation ceremony. That goes about as expected for Mia. She also has fan handling lessons with Queen Clarice, and this is where we get the iconic Mia faces behind the fan, where she's like turning the fan, and every time she turns the fan in front of her face, like she makes a different funny face. And the queen is like, don't sass your grandma. It's hilarious.
I love that scene. So cute.
Me too.
In the throne room, Queen Clarice and Mia see citizens one by one to hear their concerns and accept their gifts. Someone gives them a chicken, and Mia chases it around the room. And I'm pretty sure Queen Clarice is like, we don't chase chickens.
Yes. Later, Mia and Queen Clarice prepare for Mia's side saddle riding. She has to do this thing, I think it's called the Review of the Guard, where she has to like very formally ride a horse down the center of two lines of the royal guard. And so she's getting ready for that. And Clarice gives Mia her wooden leg that she uses to make it look like she's riding side saddle, but actually allows her to put one leg on either side of the horse.
So genius, actually.
Genius.
Andrew, Nicholas, and Lily all watch. Lily introduces herself to Nicholas by saying, Lily Moskowitz, best friend of future queen. I don't like you.
I love Lily.
She's a little harsh in the first movie, but she makes up for it in this one.
Agreed. Viscount Mabry shows up to this review of the guard with a rubber snake to spook Mia's horse to try to embarrass her. And it works because her horse bucks and Joe runs up to help her and accidentally rips off the wooden leg. And everyone freaks out and Mia rides off on her horse. Nicholas actually finds Mia in the stable crying and he tries to comfort her, but then Joe and Viscount Mabry come in.
Joe has a private word with Viscount Mabry. He says his job is to make sure no one toys with the crown. He says, if you hurt my girl, you will answer directly to me. And whatever crimes I commit against you, remember, I have diplomatic immunity in 46 countries, including Puerto Rico. Viscount Mabry says, the word fear is not in my vocabulary. Joe calmly says, perhaps, but it's in your eyes. And then he hands him the rubber snake.
It's so good. This is the girl dad energy, you know?
Yes. He's like, don't mess with my girls, you know?
We see the queen and Nicholas sitting together, and the queen asks him why he's so against Mia becoming queen, and he says that he was born in Genovia, so he knows the people better. We kind of get the sense that, like, his uncle actually is the one that wants him to become king, and he doesn't actually even really care. I think he thinks that Mia would be a good option. This felt like kind of just a very generic answer, you know?
Yeah. Now it's the garden party scene, and this is the one that you guys know, where Mia is wearing the gorgeous pink dress and hat. Andrew and Mia go for a walk, and they run into Nicholas with his date, Lady Alyssa. Nicholas and Mia get into this my date is better than yours argument, and they keep listing Alyssa and Andrew's accomplishments to each other. Alyssa asks Andrew to get a drink so they can get away from the argument, which immediately Robert goes, oh, they're going to end up together.
Oh, Robert is good.
He's so good. At these movies where it's like very formulaic, he always guesses it. After they leave, Nicholas says, you two make such a lovely couple. It's a shame you're not attracted to him. And she says, I know, like right as he's saying that.
Mm-hmm.
And it kicks off another argument. They hit each other back and forth with their fans saying, I loathe you. And then they kiss and her foot pops, like in the first movie. She pulls away and then they argue and they fall into the fountain together.
That night, Queen Clarice lectures Mia for hiding in the closet and falling into the fountain with Nicholas. And Mia says she just lost it. I think she says, I just lost it. Sometimes people just lose it. And Clarice says, you can't afford to lose it. Other people lose it. We're supposed to find it.
Then it's parade day. Lily and the Royal Guard captain flirt, and it's really cute. Along the parade route, Mia stops at a children's shelter and lectures a few boys for messing with a sweet little girl named Carolina, who's played by Abigail Breslin. You know her from Little Miss Sunshine and many other things. Mia gives all the kids tiaras and they join the parade. And then Breakaway by Kelly Clarkson plays.
Then we cut to a meeting between Mia and some Parliament members where she tells them that the children from the shelter will be housed in the Winter Castle, and therefore the Winter Castle will no longer be a vacation house for Parliament members, which they do not love. But it does feel very like we can see Mia like stepping into her role as queen, you know, and trying to take care of people.
Then Mia has a bridal party. She invites princesses from all over the world to the castle for a slumber party, including Asana, played by Raven. They mattress surf and rollerblade, and it's princesses of all ages, and it's very cute. And then we get the iconic line where the little girl, you'll remember, she like asks the guard and she whispers in his ear, and then he bangs his staff on the ground and tells everybody that Princess Ami has to go potty. Queen Clarice even comes to the party and she surfs down the slide on a mattress. And then she sings a song and Asana chimes in. And it's a really sweet, fun time.
It's really cute.
It reminded me so much of the 13 Going on 30 scene where they have a slumber party and all the girls are singing and jumping around on the bed.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Nicholas tells his uncle that Mia will be a great ruler and they should stop trying to sabotage her. In response, Viscount Mabry calls Nicholas out for having feelings for Mia, but he does agree to surrender. However, when Nicholas leaves the house, he immediately calls the newscaster, Elsie Kentworthy. This is Elsie of Eggs with Elsie, the morning show host, and their house manager / housekeeper / person that they employ overhears all of this, so she knows what's happening even though Nicholas doesn't.
Mia practices her archery with Lily and Andrew, and then she sees Nicholas walking in the garden. She pulls Lily aside, and Lily asks which man she needs to go shoo. Mia says that she wants to talk to Nicholas, so Lily and Andrew leave, and then Nicholas stands behind Mia and helps her with her form. It's a very romantic scene. He helps her with her archery. And she actually hits her target for once, and they almost kiss. Nicholas tells her that he's bowing out of the fight for the crown and he's leaving the castle. He also asks to see her one more time, but Mia says she can't because she's watched too closely. And remember, she is engaged.
Yeah, the important detail.
Mm-hmm.
Inside, Queen Clarice reviews reception place settings and music, and Joe shows up and dances with her. It's very cute. But then Clarice basically says that she can't be with him because she has to help Mia become queen. Like, she basically says, like, she has too big of a duty to, like, have a relationship. And Joe says, you were never just my queen. You were the someone I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. But if you prefer that I see you first and foremost as my queen, I shall oblige you. And then he leaves. And you can tell this is not what she meant, but he's hurt because he feels rejected.
So sad.
Yeah.
Lily runs into Mia's room to tell her that Nicholas is throwing pebbles at her window. And Mia ends up climbing down the vine to go meet him. And as she's climbing, she bangs into the kitchen window, and Brigitte and Brigitta distract the queen, who is also sitting down there, with a performance of Frere Jacques so that she won't notice that Mia is
Sneaking
escaping.
Yeah. So Mia and Nicholas ride horses down to the river and they dance together, and the song Love Me Tender by Norah Jones plays. It's very romantic. And they accidentally fall asleep cuddling, and they wake up to a paparazzi taking a video of them. And Mia immediately assumes that Nicholas set her up, and this was all a plot for him to actually become king.
What I love about this scene is that it's very reminiscent of the paparazzi scene from the first movie, where she did get set up by the boy that she was into.
That's such a good point.
And then in this one, she's like, of course she's going to assume that he set her up. It happened to her before.
Yeah.
And it's a very similar, like, embarrassment, scandalous thing, you know?
Totally.
Queen Clarice goes to Mia's room to wake her up, but finds Lily in Mia's bed. Right then, Mia walks in, and Charlotte, the queen's assistant, who, fun fact, is played by Kathleen Marshall, Gary Marshall, the director's daughter, she comes in and turns on the TV to see Elsie's program, and it's the video of Mia and Andrew on Eggs with Elsie.
Yikes.
Yikes.
Immediate, almost live TV. Crazy.
Terrible.
And then we cut to Andrew and Mia arguing, and he says that despite all of this, he still thinks their marriage is a good idea, and he kisses her. And she looks so uncomfortable. She's like leaning backwards with her eyes open.
Is this their first time kissing? It is, right?
I think so. I think this is the first time we've seen it anyway. And they both immediately admit that there's just no spark between them. And you can tell that they care about each other a lot and they really are good friends. But they admit that there's no chemistry. And Andrew says that he isn't going to go back on his word and tells her that they will still get married tomorrow and that she is going to be a great Queen of Genovia. And they hug. And it's actually a very sweet moment between them where they're both just like, romantically, this is not what we want. But like, we made a promise and he really wants to help her become queen. And she needs to get married to do that. So they're going to do it.
He's bound by duty.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of how Queen Clarice was talking about her husband who passed away. And she was like, I was very fond of him.
Definitely.
And I feel like they were besties, but they weren't in love.
Definitely.
And that's what Andrew and Mia are giving. Also, I wish they were in love because he's actually perfect. He's so sweet.
I know. I knew we were going to have this conversation because it's giving what we always talk about with Twilight, with The Summer I Turned Pretty, where we're like, in season 1 or season 2, I guess, we were like, go with Jeremiah. He's the good guy. He's like the safe option. And we're like, Team Jacob. We're like, he's the best friend. He's the sweetie. Not the bad boy.
He's not the controlling one, you know?
It's the same.
It's the same. Andrew is the best choice, but she just doesn't love him.
Yeah.
And vice versa. He doesn't love her either. So,
It's not right.
Ugh.
But he's a good guy.
I like him. He'd be my choice. I'm Team Andrew.
Same. As much as my like teen crush was Chris Pine, Andrew is the better choice for sure. I agree. Like, I want her to end up with him. I want this to work.
I was going to say, like, Andrew with Chris Pine's body, then you would be like, okay, done.
For sure.
It's wedding day. Mia's mom is there and surprises her with the baby, whose name is Trevor. And I was just like, wait. You didn't know that your mom went into labor?
The mom is actually the biggest issue that I have with this entire movie because they're so close in the first movie because she grew up just her and her mom. Like, they were best friends. They knew everything about each other. And so then for Mia to be going through this like really difficult emotional situation and we don't even see her talking on the phone to her mom. And yeah, like she doesn't even know that her mom gave birth. We just missed all of that. And then the mom continues to be absent like through the rest of the movie. It's really weird.
Yeah. And she's an only child. So this would be a big moment for her, I feel like, to have a baby brother.
Huge.
Yeah. And then she doesn't really, like, she holds him for a second and then it's like, okay, bye.
Yeah, not a big deal. It's crazy. And then I think the same is true like for Mia's wedding to her mom. You would think this would be the biggest deal in the world that her daughter is getting married.
She misses part of it.
Right.
Actually, I did have a huge problem with that. Here's what I'm thinking happened. I'm thinking they made Mia's mom pregnant as a way to tell us, like, okay, she's happy and she's doing her own thing, and that's why she's not in this movie. I just don't like how they handled everything after that part.
Agreed. It makes me wonder, like, did the actress only have, like, a day that she could shoot? or something. That seems ridiculous, but
I don't know if I ever saw her with a crowd of people. So maybe.
yeah.
I feel like it was only like close-ups, you know?
That's true, yeah.
Could be. Who knows? And then Paolo shows up from the first movie. Mia gets the iconic moose updo. You know the one. She says, I look like a moose. And then Paolo says, yes, but a very cute moose. Make all the boy moose go, wah. But he does it better than me. Can you make a moose noise?
Wah.
Perfect.
It's like a baby noise as I'm saying it. Nobody can do it like Paolo, let's be honest.
No.
It's perfect.
I'm glad that you did it because you've probably heard the line so many more times than I have.
No, I can't do it. And he does it like 3 times in a row.
Yes.
It's really funny. Then we see Nicholas decide to stay home from the wedding on account for his feelings for Mia. And after his uncle, Viscount Mabry, leaves to go to the wedding, their house manager tells Nicholas that his uncle is the one that called Elsie and set him up with the video. And she thinks that he's plotting something else to ruin the wedding because he was in such a good mood to go. So she tells Nicholas that he needs to go to the wedding to interrupt whatever his uncle is planning, and he doesn't know how he's going to get there. And she says, you'll have to take the bike. And this is like the ridiculous, I don't even know what it's called, old-fashioned bike with the one giant wheel and the one tiny wheel. And he does take it, and he ends up like swapping it with a farmer for a horse halfway there in order to make it on time.
The wedding begins. Lily walks down the aisle in her pink bridesmaid's dress, and she says, I'm a girl who loves black but is wearing pink. Love it. We needed more Lily one-liners, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually one of my critiques of the movie, is I felt like it was so focused on like this love story that we didn't get the friendship and the charm that we got in the first movie, which the first movie is barely focused on a love story, you know?
Agreed. I think we get a little bit more like mentorship and like loving, almost mother relationship with the queen.
Mm-hmm.
But that really becomes her central support person as opposed to Lily and her mom, which I wish we got a little more of all of them.
Me too. Then it's Mia's turn to walk down the aisle, but before she gets down there, she whispers to Joe that she's sorry he's retiring. He says, the heart does things for reasons that reason cannot understand. She says, you're preaching to the choir, and he says, then you should know Nicholas did not set you up at the lake. Mic drop.
And then the music plays and Mia walks down the aisle, but she starts walking really slow and ultimately stops walking halfway down. And she says that she just needs a minute and runs out. Queen Clarice runs after her, and Mia admits that she can't do this. And Clarice says that she always chose duty over love, and now she's lost the only man she ever really loved, meaning Joe. And she tells Mia not to make the same mistakes that she did, and that Mia's choices should come from her heart. And they hug. They have just this whole thing is a really sweet moment between both of them. And Mia goes back into the church and walks quickly down the aisle, and she asks Andrew, everyone deserves a chance to find true love, right? And he says yes. And she says, including us, and gives him the ring back.
And I think he says, thank you.
Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah, it's a sweet moment, not a sad moment.
Mm-hmm.
Mia announces that the only reason she was going to get married was because of a law, which isn't a good enough reason. She points out that Clarice has ruled without a man by her side, and she rocks at it. She asks Parliament to think about their female family members and ask themselves if they'd force them to do what they're forcing her to do. She says she's ready to take her place as queen without a husband.
The crowd cheers, but Viscount Mabry stands and reminds everyone of the law and that there is another heir, so they do have another option. But then Nicholas stands up after he says this, which is a surprise because nobody else saw Nicholas show up to the wedding. And he says that he refuses to be king and Mia is the right choice. And then he storms out and his uncle runs after him.
Mia makes an official motion to dismiss the law that requires marriage, and it passes.
Mia talks to the queen across the church through mouthpieces. So Mia actually pulls one of her security guards, Lionel, over and talks through his little ear mouthpiece. And then the queen listens through Charlotte's. And Mia says, just because I didn't get my fairy tale ending doesn't mean you shouldn't. And then Clarice walks up to Joe and asks him to marry her.
Wow.
And he just says, well, I thought you'd never ask. Why is Joe the best? He has the best lines of everyone, I think.
Yes.
Ah.
I was also like, wait, you mean right now? I thought they just got engaged. Like, I didn't know it was right now.
Right now. It's a swift occurrence, all of it.
This is like Mamma Mia, you know?
Yes, it is. It totally is. And so Joe takes off his security earpiece and he walks Clarice down the aisle. And the Archbishop says, finally. And they're pronounced man and wife and they kiss, which made me think, is this their first kiss?
When they get married? Maybe. Maybe they were bound by duty.
Yeah.
Because I could only imagine if they had an affair or something. It wouldn't be an affair, but, you know, it would be secret.
Right. So, anyway, the first that we've seen.
I think it was their first. That's my headcanon. Then Mia shoots the flaming arrow perfectly. And then we fast forward to a week later, and it's coronation day. Nicholas shows up and confesses his love for her, and they kiss, and her foot pops again.
And then it's time for the coronation. Andrew and Lady Alyssa are together in the crowd. Cute, Robert called it. And Lily and the Royal Guard captain flirt again. And I didn't say this earlier, but the Royal Guard captain is the guy that screams. Like whenever the Royal Guard is like walking somewhere, he's the guy that is like really, really loud. And so that's why he and Lily kind of banter back and forth. And Lily gives him her phone number on a slip of paper because she's going back to Berkeley to finish grad school.
My favorite part of that is he's like, could I call you? Or something like that. And she goes, I don't think you'll need to because of how loud he is. But then she slides her number over, which she already wrote down for him. Mm-hmm. It was all premeditated. It was cute.
It was really cute.
Before the queen comes in, we see Charlotte say, the eagle is flying for the last time, which is just a like sad thing because they've been calling her the eagle the whole time.
That's like her security code name. Yeah. It's cute.
Mia and Clarice both enter wearing gorgeous gold dresses. The crown is moved from Queen Clarice's head to Mia's head. Nicholas and Lily smile at her, and then everyone sings Genovia's national anthem, which we remember from the first movie. The announcer says, presenting Her Majesty, Amelia Mionette Thermopolis Rinaldi, Queen of Genovia. This Is My Time by Raven Simone plays.
Then we fast forward and see Charlotte and several other women join Parliament, which was previously all male. And we see Mia at the opening ceremony for the new children's shelter in the castle. And I Decide by Lindsay Lohan plays.
Then Maurice, Queen Clarice's poodle, mattress surfs. And that's the end.
At the end of the credits, we hear a voiceover from Joe telling people to consider traveling to Genovia for their next family vacation. It's this whole like travel marketing spiel for Genovia. It's very funny.
I totally missed that.
Yeah. I was scrolling. Cute. I don't think I had ever heard it before because I was fast forwarding to see if there was any post-credit scene because I didn't think there was, but I wanted to check. And because I think I was watching the end on my computer and I was doing the like 10-second fast forwarding and then I heard Joe's voice like pop in my ears for a second. I was like, whoa. And I went back.
That's a good find.
Yeah, it was funny. Okay, you know what time it is.
I'm so ready.
Let's talk about Princess Diaries 3. Okay, here's what we know. So there was a lot of back and forth for years about whether the project was even going to happen. I found this quote from Anne Hathaway in 2019 where she said, I want to do it, Julie wants to do it, Deborah Martin Chase, our producer, wants to do it. We all really want it to happen. It's just we don't want to do it unless it's perfect because we love it just as much as you guys love it. It's as important to us as it is to you, and we don't want to deliver anything until it's ready, but we're working on it, which made me very hopeful.
Very hopeful, yes.
And then Meg Cabot, who's the author of the books, gave a quote about it in 2022, where she said, hopefully there'll be more about Genovia. I know Disney's very interested in doing more, but you know, we just have to get the gang back together. It is hard in today's day and age with everybody's busy schedules, and of course, COVID is not helping. So it made me feel good to know that the author is also on board.
And maybe the fact that they've been working on it for so long and it's been like noodling in their brains for so long, maybe that means that the script is going to be really good.
Oh, wait until I tell you about the...
Oh, okay. I'm ready.
The script timing, okay?
Oh, okay.
First, it is confirmed that Anne Hathaway is definitely reprising her role. Obviously, I don't think there would be a movie without her. And fans have been very vocal about wanting Chris Pine and Julie Andrews to be back. And I will say Sandra Oh, who played the principal in the first movie, Mandy Moore from the first movie, Heather Matarazzo, who plays Lily, John Rhys Davies, who plays Viscount Mabry, Chris Pine, and Julie Andrews have all separately expressed interest in returning. However, no one has been confirmed except for Anne. So TBD. However, Julie Andrews is technically listed as starring parentheses rumored on the official IMDb page. Take that for whatever you want.
She has to be in it, even for just a little bit.
I can't imagine that she isn't because it feels too dark and twisty to not have her in, because I think the only reason that they wouldn't have her in would be if she had passed away. And I feel like because she, the actress, is quite old, that would be such poor taste, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It would feel really weird. So I assume she must be in it. I can't imagine her not being in it.
She has to be.
I did find this funny quote from Sandra Oh, who was the vice principal in the first movie. In July 2023, Sandra Oh said, "I am ready for the queen. Call me. I'm dying to see how Gupta has moved up in the world."
I love that.
I just love how positively everyone speaks about being in these movies. Like, everyone wants to come back, even if they had small roles, even if their careers have like progressed really far. It makes me happy.
It makes me happy too, and I think it's a testament to how people felt about working with Gary.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Deborah Martin Chase, who is back as a producer.
Love that. I just looked up to see if Michael was going to be in it, because that's what I care about.
Yeah.
I found some tea.
Okay.
Maybe slight spoiler for the book, though.
Okay.
Maybe fast forward like 1 minute if you're someone who's going to read the book. Well, can I spoil it for you or no?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. So spoiler alert now. It says that in the books, Chris Pine's character doesn't exist and that she marries Michael.
Cute.
So people who are fans of the books are like, Michael better be in it.
Yeah.
Even in my opinion, okay, spoiler alert over. In my opinion, even if Michael and her have no like chemistry anymore, I just want them to be friends, They were friends to start with.
How would you feel if they recast him?
Terrible.
Okay, that's not acceptable. It has to be the same actor.
I mean,
would you rather him, if they can't get that actor, would you rather the character not be in it, or would you rather they recast him?
I would rather the character not be in it.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Michael is played by Robert Schwartzman.
Mm-hmm.
His brother, Jason Schwartzman, is in everything. So you cannot tell me that Robert wouldn't be like, okay, like I'll do this cameo in the movie. He's got to be in it.
We'll see. I don't know why he wasn't in this one. It's weird.
He probably was busy with his band. I believe his band is Rooney? ? I think his band's name is Rooney, and I think he was busy touring, making music.
We will see.
Okay, tell me more.
Okay, so Adele Lim is directing, and she actually wrote Crazy Rich Asians and Raya and the Last Dragon. She directed and produced Joyride, and she wrote and produced some episodes of Private Practice, which is in the Shondaland sphere. So I'm really excited about this because she is a big Princess Diaries fan and very accomplished screenwriter, and directed Joyride, which I haven't seen, but I heard was very good.
That gives me a lot of hope. That sounds great.
Mm-hmm. She gave this quote: "As a diehard fan of the original Princess Diaries, I'm beyond excited to be a part of bringing the third iteration of this beloved franchise to life. We look forward to celebrating its core tenets of female power, joy, and mentorship with audiences worldwide."
That makes me so happy.
I know.
Love it.
Now, apparently there has been a script floating around since 2017 for this movie. I found quotes talking of I think maybe Anne, or I don't know, people were talking about having read the script for the third movie in 2017. But then in 2022, Adrita Mukherjee was announced to be writing the script. But then in 2024, I believe, Flora Greason was announced to be writing the script, and she is officially listed as the writer on IMDb. And her only other project on IMDb is the movie The High Note from 2020, starring Dakota Johnson.
Okay, this is really interesting to me because we hear this happen a lot when there's a script that they can't quite get right. They hire new writers to come in and rewrite what's already written.
Very common.
So it sounds like that happened at least twice,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 3 times. But then to have the last or most recent person working on it be someone who's only done one other big script, that's kind of an interesting choice. Because I feel like they could get anyone. They could probably get Shonda again, you know? I mean, maybe not.
Or like maybe this is somebody that is from Shondaland and just like doesn't have a lot of credits on IMDb. Like it's very possible like maybe they have some well-known blacklist scripts floating around and they just don't have a lot of credits yet. I don't know. But interesting.
Exciting.
Yeah. I kept reading that the film is supposed to come out in late 2025 or early 2026. As far as I could tell, they haven't started filming yet. So my guess is late 2026, I imagine at the earliest. We'll see. For some reason, I thought it was filming right now, but I think that was just my Devil Wears Prada sequel, like, was coming up in my head because I know they're filming that right now. But they are scouting locations in the Czech Republic.
Cool.
So I imagine that's maybe going to be Genovia. So that's exciting.
No universal backlot.
Not this time.
Cool.
Or at least it'll be maybe they're just looking for the flyover shot. I don't know, but.
One flyover shot.
But I'm so excited. I think it's going to be so good.
Oh, thanks for filling us all in. This is super exciting.
Yay.
I feel like they've put so much time and effort into making this that I'm feeling good about it.
I know, just the fact that the entire cast has had such a good experience working on it. The producer is back. Anne is coming back. We can assume, I hope at least Julie Andrews, and I hope Heather Matarazzo is coming back. I hope. Just like, it makes me so excited to see like the story on screen again. And I cannot wait to listen to the books now that I know they're on Spotify.
I am doing that tonight.
I know.
I'm excited.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening, and thank you for supporting 2 years of the podcast.
I really can't believe it. We recently did kind of a chit-chatty Q&A episode for our 100th episode, and I feel like we really got sappy about how we feel having been doing this podcast for so long now. So definitely go check that one out if you want some more thoughts about that.
If you enjoyed this episode and you've been liking the pod lately, make sure to leave a 5-star rating or a review wherever you're listening.
And leave a comment on this episode on Spotify telling us what you think of Chris Pine's new look. Please. Whose side are you on? Megan's or mine?
Yay or nay? Also, are you team Andrew or are you team Nicholas? Important.
Really important. Can't wait to hear from you.
Why are we team Andrew? Why are we like this?
Why are we team Andrew? Previously Jeremiah. What's the other one? Jacob.
If you listen to our latest The Summer I Turned Pretty episode that just came out, we had a whole debate about the Team Conrad, Team Jeremiah, where we stand, where we stood before. You guys can go check that out, definitely, if you're watching the show.
And I feel like there's just psychology behind it. I don't know what it is, but I feel like you and we don't want an unsafe partner. We want somebody who's stable, very emotionally stable, and will rein us in when we're anxious.
It's a requirement for me.
I don't need an Edward to make me more anxious.
No, nightmare.
I don't need a Nicholas who's going to be drama, you know?
I also think it's an underdog situation. I really do. Like, we know that's not where the main character is leaning. And so we're like, oh, give him a chance.
Give him a chance. He's nice.
He's nice.
Not like in the nice guy way, you know, like he's actually just genuinely a good person.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway. Can't wait to hear where you guys weigh in on all of that.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.